The steakhouse is economic indicator, the term sheet, Fortune's deals blog term sheet. The buzz. Term sheet. Fear and greed. Now 30. Ifs. Mutual funds. Video. Term sheet. The latest on private equity, M&A, deals and movements from Wall Street to Silicon Valley. Comments. The Steakhouse Index by Sean Tully, Senior Editor-at-Large, September 6, 2013, 5 a.m. at What the Sizzle at some legendary chop houses says about the New York economy, and maybe the nation's, too. Fortune, to gauge the striking revival in the Big Apple's economy, you could pick from a wide variety of statistics or symbols, from the ascending graph of Manhattan coupe prices to the throngs of foreign tourists packing the 7 subway line to the U.S. Open. We modestly suggest a more telling barometer, what we'll call the Steakhouse Index. That's our take on how those great, extremely pricey, expense account-sensitive purveyors of prime-aged beef and creamed spinach are faring a half-decade after the onset of the financial crisis. This writer's survey is more atmospheric than scientific, as it consists of witnessing the traffic and ambience, while dining in late August at 3 renowned Midtown steakhouses and interviewing their owners and MAO-registered tradies. The institutions, ranking among the top-grossing restaurants in America, are Del Frisco's DFRG Double Eagle Steakhouse, the ultimate hangout for financial power players across from Rockefeller Center, Porterhouse, New York, a virtual neighborhood canteen for the corporate elite in the Time Warner Center at Columbus Circle, and Smith & Wollensky, a bastion of tradition in a turn of the last century, white and green lattice home at the nexus of the ed industry in 3rd Avenue. The managers and owners of all 3 steakhouses agree that business still hasn't returned to the heady levels of the mid-2000s and perhaps never will. We've just seen too many controls in spending by companies to get back to the heyday, says Scott Gould, regional manager for Del Frisco's restaurant group. Still, the spending at these culinary landmarks has rebounded strongly since the financial crisis, retracing at least half the distance from the bottom, and they are thriving, even though Midtown now supports several more steakhouses than during the boom times. More energies than expected jobs boom. The sizzle is back for 2 reasons. First, big banks, ad agencies, and law firms are finally, though judiciously, re-loosening their wallets for entertaining. Second, hordes of affluent foreign tourists, lured by the weak dollar, are filling tables on weekends and late at night following an evening at a Broadway show. Among Manhattan business folk, the steak dinner is as much a staple for entertaining clients as the power breakfast. And tourists have long prized a visit to the Palm or Smith & Wollensky as a must-dine experience. But in the bubble years, the extravagance buried all tradition. Groups of 4 investment bankers would order 5 bottles of sparkling water and 6 appetizers, along with $250 bottles of Bordeaux, recalls Gould. Servings of Del Frisco's Royal Lobster caviar flew off the menu. It was a time for huge shellfish bouquets, colossal stone crab claws, and oversized steaks, marvels Michael Stillman, president of Fourth Wall Restaurants, manager of Smith & Wollensky. In late 2008, the unbridled revelry stopped. It happened really quickly, over a couple of months, and business dropped around 20%, says Stillman. At Del Frisco's, it wasn't that the number of customers dropped, it was what they spent. The difference was in the drop in orders for high-end luxury items, recalls Gould. Diners would get glasses of water instead of bottles, and 3 appetizers instead of 5. It was clear that companies were getting frugal, imposing tight limits on what they'd pay for each person for an expense account dinner. For Del Frisco's, the problems plaguing the banks weren't entirely bad for business, since the law firms handling their new regulatory problems started spending more freely than ever in its prime strip steaks and crispy Shanghai calamari. More, the death of private equity's fogs. Porterhouse opened at the height of the party, in late 2006. Diners would be looking out through